One of the new features in AutoTune Pro is ARA, or Audio Random Access Integration, with supporting DAWs. So what does this mean? Well, essentially, we have an AutoTune workflow in which we can use it in automatic mode. We know this. For example, if I drag this onto this track, I could go ahead and enable AutoTune in auto mode, and I could track the pitch. In addition to that, I could also go to the graphical mode, and we know that we can enable our pitch to capture this performance. But let's take a moment to talk about Audio Random Access, or ARA, and how it integrates with AutoTune Pro in supporting DAWs. So if I go ahead and remove this, you'll see that I have the same vocal track and actually the same performance that we've been using for the duration of this series. If I go ahead and solo this vocal, it's the exact same thing.
I've been blood, black and blue. I've been blood, I've been blood.
So one thing to note is that if you want to use AutoTune in graphical mode, as we know, we have to manually record the performance into the plugin, and this will then get cached to your computer. Now we can do this for either pitch or time and pitch. Now the idea with Audio Random Access, or ARA, is that it has instantaneous access to the audio clips, audio regions, audio events, whatever you want to call them in your specific DAW. So how would we go about setting this up? Well, in this particular case, we're looking at Studio One as an example. Now in Studio One, I can drag an effects plugin directly to a track or directly to the console, and this will automatically instantiate this plugin on that track. But if you wanted to insert this as an event effect, we're going to use the VST3 version. I'm going to hold down my Alt or Option key, and now you'll notice that it says Add Event Effects AutoTune Pro, versus if I let go of that modifier, it says Add Effects on Channel. Let's go ahead and let's instantiate the event effects. Now, you'll notice that the minute we do that, two things happen. First of all, it is in graphical mode, and secondly, it automatically captured the whole entire performance, meaning that we don't need to manually transfer this performance. We don't need to manually enter it into the cache of our system by enabling pitch and pressing the play on our transport. This is extremely useful because what this means is that we can instantaneously start editing this performance using the same tools that we know. Another thing to point out is that there's another way to do this as well. So let's go ahead, and I want to open my inspector for this selected track. If you're not seeing this information, you just want to pull up on your screen over here till you see this information. We have this event effects window. Let's go ahead and remove this, and let's talk about adding or instantiating the ARA version of AutoTune Pro in another way. So if you don't want to use the drag and drop workflow, we can actually do this directly from the inspector as well. First thing, you want to make sure that you open up your inspector. Next, I want to enable my event effects. I can do this just by simply clicking over here. If they're disabled, we have the option to enable them. And then this is just a matter of simply navigating to the folder in your particular system, and I'm going to go ahead and choose AutoTune Pro. So this has essentially done the exact same thing. It's instantiated the ARA version of AutoTune into my Studio One session. Now, one thing to point out about using the ARA version of AutoTune is that this pitch correction and processing that we would be doing on our vocal track would actually be happening on the audio clip or the audio region itself, meaning that this is actually altering the audio clip, and we can think of this as almost like a pre-fader type of processing. Now, I've been showing this example in Studio One, but it's worth mentioning that there are other DAWs which support the ARA, or Audio Random Access Protocol, as well. So this is something that you might want to check out in terms of whether or not your particular DAW supports this feature. If it does, then this is something that you can take a look at in terms of an alternate workflow to use when doing your pitch correction. If you would rather take advantage of the graphical mode of AutoTune, do all your manual pitch correction ahead of time, you could actually do this, and then once you're done, we can actually render those results into our audio file, and this becomes the new starting point of your audio. That's using AutoTune with supported DAWs in ARA, or more specifically, utilizing the Audio Random Access Protocol. So that's all the time I have available for this course. I hope that you found it beneficial and useful. I know for me that using AutoTune Pro in my productions allows me to get great results really quickly. As I stated, most of the time I end up using this in the automatic function, but it's a fantastic plugin to use to get under the hood and give you some really great control over manual tuning adjustments, whether you're looking to be aggressive and creative, or whether you're just looking for some moderate pitch correction to be done with a little bit more flexibility in terms of just choosing the specific areas that you'd like to process with AutoTune. Once again, my name is Marcus Huskins. You can find me on Twitter. My handle is @MarcusHuskins. I thank you for taking the time to watch this course, and as always, we'll catch you in the next series. Cheers.